You walk past it every single morning. You have walked past it 100 times. It sits on the corner of your windowsill, or along the groove where the frame meets the glass, or tucked under the lip of your porch ceiling. A small, papery smear, gray-brown, rough-textured, shaped like nothing in particular. Your first instinct, every time, is to scrape it off. It looks like damage. It looks like something went wrong. What nobody tells you, what almost nobody knows, is that what is inside that smear is one of the most sophisticated survival machines the natural world has ever produced. And the moment you scrape it away, you destroy something that took days to build and months to become. That object is an egg case, and what hatches from it, come spring, will spend the next several months doing something your garden desperately needs. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. The insect that built it is a lacewing. Chances are you have seen one without knowing what it was. A delicate, pale green creature, roughly the size of your thumbnail, with wings so fine they look like stained glass held up to the light. 4 wings, each one a net of veins, folded flat over its back like a tent. Enormous golden eyes that catch the light at certain angles and seem, briefly, to glow. It flies at night, drawn to lit windows, drifting with a slow and almost accidental grace that makes it look lost. It is not lost. It is prospecting. It is moving through the darkness, evaluating surfaces, reading the air, looking for a location that meets a precise set of conditions, sheltered from rain, stable in temperature, close enough to the food supply that will matter to the next generation. When it finds your windowsill, it has made a decision. That matters more than most people realize. When a female lacewing is ready to lay her eggs, she does not simply deposit them on a surface. She constructs something. She touches the tip of her abdomen to the windowsill, or the leaf, or the stem, secretes a thin strand of silk, pulls her body upward, and at the top of that strand, roughly a 1/4 inch above the surface, she places a single egg. Then she does it again, and again. A cluster of eggs, each one perched on its own silk stalk, like a microscopic balloon on a string, arranged in a loose arc, or a small crowd, each one separated from its neighbors by just enough distance to matter. The reason for the stalks took researchers decades to fully understand. A 1994 study by ecologist Ken Tauber at Cornell University established what earlier naturalists had long suspected. The silk elevates each egg above the surface where ground-level predators cannot reach it, and the spacing prevents newly hatched larvae from immediately cannibalizing their siblings. When the first larva hatches, it is hungry. It will eat anything near it, including an unhatched egg. The stalk is not decoration. The stalk is a survival mechanism, engineered by an insect with a brain smaller than a grain of sand, refined across geological time into something that works every single time. The egg case you see on your windowsill is the dried remnant of that structure. The silk collapsed and weathered. The eggs either already hatched or still waiting, depending on the time of year. Scrape it off in winter, and you may have just removed 50 larvae that were 2 months from hatching. There is no way to know from the outside. The case gives nothing away. What hatches from those eggs is nothing like the pale, drifting adult. The lacewing larva is small, brown, and built for war. It has hollow, sickle-shaped mandibles, curved jaws that do not bite so much as impale. When a larva encounters an aphid, it does not crush it or tear it apart. It pierces the body wall, injects digestive enzymes directly into the body cavity, and drinks. The aphid is dissolved from the inside and consumed in place. The empty skin is discarded. The larva moves to the next one. It does not pause. It does not rest between meals in any way that the prey population would recognize as a break. It simply continues, and the colony around it shrinks, and it continues still. A single lacewing larva will consume between 200 and 400 aphids before it pupates. Some researchers, including those at the University of California's Integrated Pest Management Program, have documented individual larvae consuming pest insects at a rate of 30 to 50 per day under field conditions. They eat thrips, whiteflies, moth eggs, small caterpillars, mites, leafhoppers. They are not selective in any way that benefits the pest population. They eat what is there, and what is there in most gardens from March through June is exactly what is destroying your plants. And they are camouflaged. Some species of lacewing larvae collect the debris of their kills, the hollow skins of consumed aphids, bits of plant fluff, fragments of lichen and bark, and pile them on specialized hooked bristles along their back, building a coat of garbage that conceals their body entirely. Researchers studying this behavior at the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute found that the debris layer serves as both camouflage and chemical disguise. Aphids release alarm pheromones when attacked. A larva wearing the skins of previous kills carries those pheromones into the colony, effectively registering as just another aphid, or as nothing alarming at all, as it moves through a feeding group. If you're hooked on this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. This behavior was first described in detail by entomologist Thomas Eisner, who spent decades at Cornell University documenting chemical deception in insects. Eisner called it trash carrying, which undersells it considerably. What the larva is doing is active infiltration. It is entering a defended colony using the colony's own chemical language as a passport. The aphids do not flee. They do not sound an alarm. The larva walks among them and feeds at close range, and the colony has no mechanism to recognize what is happening until the population has already collapsed around it. The lacewing has been doing this for a long time. Fossil lacewings appear in deposits from the Permian period, over 250 million years ago. The group survived the end Permian extinction event, which eliminated roughly 96% of all marine species and 70% of land vertebrates, the largest mass extinction in the history of animal life on Earth. It survived the event that ended the dinosaurs. The lacewing larva hunting aphids on your rosebush in April is executing behavioral code older than the first flower that ever opened, field-tested through every catastrophe this planet has managed to produce, and it still works. What this means practically is something the garden chemical industry has little incentive to tell you. A single established lacewing population can suppress aphid colonies without a single spray, without any intervention, without any product you need to buy, mix, or reapply after rain. The eggs overwinter in sheltered locations, on windowsills, under porch ceilings, along fence lines, and hatch in spring, precisely when aphid populations are beginning their first surge of the season. The timing is not a coincidence. It is the result of hundreds of millions of years of selection pressure, building a system synchronized so tightly to the seasonal rhythms of its prey that the two populations have been linked in an arms race since before the continents settled into the shapes we know. When you scrape the egg case off your windowsill, you remove that timing. You remove the population that would have hatched when the aphids arrived, before you even noticed there was a problem. What replaces it, in most gardens, is a product that kills the aphids and, incidentally, everything else present on the same plant that week, including the other lacewing larvae that were already working. The egg case on your windowsill is not a sign of neglect. It is evidence that something chose your home as a place worth investing in. The female lacewing does not deposit her eggs in chemically hostile environments. She does not lay where constant disturbance or contamination signals that survival there is unlikely. Her presence is an indicator that the small corner of the world you maintain is viable, that the air quality, the insect population, the microclimate created by your wall and your window frame are adequate for the next generation to survive. The case will sit there through the cold months, unremarkable, easy to miss. It will not damage the glass. It will not damage the frame. It will do nothing visible at all. And then, when the soil warms and the first aphid colonies begin forming on the soft new growth of spring, the case will open. What comes out will move into your garden and spend the following weeks doing something no spray can replicate: hunting, with precision, adapting to prey behavior, leaving the beneficial insects on your flowers completely untouched. A creature that has outlasted every catastrophe this planet assembled, that engineers silk scaffolding to protect its young, that wears the chemical signatures of its kills to infiltrate colonies undetected. That creature looked at your windowsill and decided it was safe enough. It is a small thing to leave in place. It asks nothing of you, no maintenance, no cost, no attention at all. The only thing it requires is that you do not reach for the scraper. It is not a small thing that it chose to be there, and now that you know what it is, you will never look at that gray-brown smear the same way again. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.